Hello there, welcome back. This is another video in this installment where I talk about coding and how we could teach coding to children. Yes, it's very important. I have made a case for that. If you want to know why we need to teach coding to children, you could take a look at the previous videos, and you have you would have a very sound argument to back up your claim for why coding should be taught to children, even from preschool. Yes, as early as preschool. Yes. Now, in this video, I would like to continue from where we stopped in the last one. In the last one, we saw how we could download the Scratch desktop version, and this one is version 3. It's the third one in the series of Scratch offline programs that have been designed by the smart folks at MIT. These guys really do a lot of research, and they've come up with a very solid software that we could use to learn coding and teach coding. Now, you can see how colorful this interface looks. After you've installed it, you could launch it, and this is what you would see. Remember, we downloaded it from scratch.mit.edu, okay, and after downloading it, we double-clicked it to install it, and we just followed the dialog that kept saying next, 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 until we had Scratch desktop installed on our PC. Now, if you have any problems with that, please let me know in the comments below this video on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you're watching it. Now, code.org is also a good way to learn programming, and like I said, code.org has offline versions for each of the tutorials, game tutorials that they use to communicate the principles, basic principles of coding in a very colorful manner. And it's still Scratch, the Scratch visual programming language that they adopt and use. If you want me to do a video on that, you could put it in the comments. I would really love to hear from you. Though I'm really thinking about it, I think I'll do a video on code.org, how to take advantage of the projects in code.org and guide your learners on how to complete those tutorials and tasks. And once they complete it, they acquire skills that would take you probably a couple of classes to teach. Yes, those skills, you may think those skills are ordinary, but they would take a couple of classes to be able to communicate. But they make it look so simple. You can communicate those skills in one tutorial. Okay. Now, programming has basically three core principles that all programs are built by. What that means is, if you see a well-written computer program, you would always see at least one of these principles. Okay, I'm going to talk about them. I'll just mention them in passing for now. The first one is the sequence principle. Okay, it's a building block too. You could call it a building block or a principle. Okay, maybe we should stick with building block. Sounds good. Okay, so the sequence building block, and in the sequence building block, all basically it says we could put one block after another, and then keep doing that until we have achieved all the blocks we need to get to our goal. Okay, now that's sequence. Now the next one is the repetition building block. Okay, and that one basically takes advantages of patterns. Patterns are basically things that get repeated in our code. For instance, if we have to do a certain action 2 times or 3 times and it's the same thing, it's not really changing, we could use the repetition building block and make our codes smarter, faster, and smaller. We could do with shorter codes. Alright, now the third building block I would like to talk about is the selection building block. Selection. Now this one is really powerful. In fact, most experts, code experts, say the selection principle is really what enables your programs have a kind of mind of their own, if you like. Okay, and it's kind of one of the basic building blocks for programs that are written for artificial intelligence, because artificial intelligence is that aspect of software of computer science, is that area of computer science where we create programs that enable computers look intelligent and do things that probably only humans could do, and do them with some high level of precision. Okay, and the advantage is computers never get tired. Okay, so that means whoever writes those codes has to know what needs to be done. Yes, those writing codes for artificial intelligence could be complex, but it's possible. Okay, and that's the area of robotics and deep learning, machine learning, algorithms and stuff like that. Okay, data science also plays somewhere around that space, neural networks also. Now in this video, to round up this video, I would like us to take a look at the Scratch interface. It's very easy to navigate. You can see this one that has a globe on it. You can choose the different languages you want. Okay, I chose English. Alright, but you can see there's a pool of languages that you can use, and that's really good, because that means learners in different parts of the world where English is not the second language, or even the third, or even a preferred language, can still learn how to code using Scratch. That is awesome. Now the next one is the file menu. You can see that you can load a project you've already created from your computer, or you can save one that you just created to your computer. I guess this is where you would find the share to website by the time it's included in version 3. Alright, so we're looking out for that. This is the edit. You could turn on the turbo mode if you want to take care of programs that are really heavy. Alright, now take a look at this. These are categories of blocks. Okay, and we'll be exploring them. Alright, you can see how the interface neatly moves to give way to blocks. These are blocks, and each of them have a purpose. This is the one we'll be using most, because that's how our program starts. Okay, see that? I just drag and I drop. Very easy. Okay, so there are a whole lot of blocks, and we'll be exploring them in the coming videos. So I'll need you to follow me as we go on this exciting trip through Scratch.